or is going to be Bauxite High. The Miners may be coming in. Let's check out those pathways. It's been a little bit of a different definition of how both these squads have gone here in the first place. As Eastern Senior, you know that they won last year. Well, they're trying to make it basically a showcase, a fast one, moving all the way through this bracket undefeated. On the other side of things, though, you do have Bean from the side of Bauxite High that they've had to take a couple of game threes, but that just means they know how to be able to go deep into those series.
Yeah, it's always like the argument. Do you want to be on the side that has just been sweeping the competition? How much have you been getting tested? Or would you like to be... You're still able to rise to the occasion. Here we can see the head-to-head matchup between Eastern Senior High School, Bauxite High School, 16-1 regular season record. Both are perfect in the regular season match records. Both in the playoffs, 8-0 on one side for Eastern Senior High, for Bauxite 8-2. But of course, in the playoffs here so far, a perfect 4-0. This tells you all you honestly need to know, Mr. HailMonkeyMan. It's going to be a very, very close matchup between both of them. I mean, everything almost mirrored there, apart from those 2 losses.
And even more, if we look at the teams that they have actually been running with this bracket here, Dirk, it has been Laker. So maybe a tiny flex into the Clippers once or otherwise, but this is going to be a tough one. You talk about it being a mirror. We're talking about it being a repeat. And when you find yourself on the court, and of course, being able to work maybe in the same exact team, it's now going to come down to maybe just final execution and knowing your players the best. If we end up with that Laker matchup, I mean, who can rotate their bench the best? Who can be able to utilize LeBron and just be able to dominate within the paint? This is gonna be a tough matchup entirely, and it is one team that is egging towards perfection and another team that knows how to play when they're down and come back, and I feel like that gives maybe the slightest edge. I don't like perfect records. I like a little blemish because that allows for some learning curve to be able to happen.
You and I are like the opposites. I want to see somebody just go out there and dominate. I want to look at that bracket and see that you've been the best, but it always does make for a nice story because you haven't tasted defeat yet. So,
that's true.
You know, how do you bounce back from that? But you never know. Maybe you don't lose this whole time. You don't even have to have that in question, but it's going to be for sure great. You mentioned that there's a lot of Lakers usage, and I think it's interesting how things end up playing out because I've commentated some other quick match tournaments in the past before, and it is the Celtics every single time. And if you think about bringing anybody else out into the mix, they end up getting beat. But I mean, the Lakers, they're always kind of like a staple, right? Anytime you have LeBron and AD, like, of course that's going to be it. And then the Clippers one might shock a lot of people until you realize that Paul George and Kawhi Leonard, they are 2 people that are very good in the game of NBA 2K. They are very good in real life as well. So it'll be really interesting to see how things are going to go out there. We brought up Mr. James. He won this last year, so kind of going back to back for him. I've actually seen him in person, been able to talk to him in person about his run, and the man's got it. I mean, I wish I was this good at playing like the one-on-one in 2K, but, you know, I am not. That man would obliterate me, and it seems like he's just doing the same to everybody else here, too. But I do think that when we're talking about being maybe some of this extra pressure that is going on against somebody who has battle-tested, somebody who has been in these positions and won, I think that's the key.
Yeah, that's honestly it. You've been there, you've done it before, and you got to act like you've been there. You're going to continue to run with your program's kind of dominant authority in that position. They won it in 2023 on the side of Eastern Senior High, and now they're trying to do it again. There's a lot of pressure there, but because you've been there, there's actually a lot of pressure off. Bauxite's in a new position, trying to be able to take a perfect season for the most part, and then turn it into a long-standing, maybe glorified moment. Can you take down those that were able to just hold the trophy last year? And that's huge. And of course, you can be able to get that repeat, but we're going to be going into the game in just a little bit. I want to see if maybe the tiniest little wrinkle was left in the playbook just a little bit ago, because, you know, I speak it in maybe to existence, but Lakers could end up being what it is. I've seen in recency so many bucks, a lot of Giannis, like my man just gets abused and just be able to just move up and just, you can't stop him for the most part. So maybe something like that is going to come out of left field just to be able to confuse them. You do have a best of 3 to really kind of work your wonders if something is to throw you out of whack, but you also got to go with what you know. And I feel like, you know, everything's been drawn up to just, you know, use your playbook. Don't go too crazy, but see if you can at least throw the tiniest curveball, not baseball, but basketball, whenever you get eventually to the court.
Yeah, I've seen so many people, like, when they're going through changing their settings, one, they go too fast for us to even keep up with it. Like, we'd have to go back and look at the videos and really slow some things down, but there's always some playbook and some plays that these guys will end up running that are always leading to opening shots. The good part is, too, we're playing online, and I know some of the issues when you're out there, like, playing in a LAN environment, you're split screening it, so it's like you're actually seeing the plays that are being ran by the other team, so you don't have to worry about that. You got a little, like, safety blanket now when you're going out there and running some plays, but that's what I think we're both going to be waiting on to see what teams are going to be the ones to go out there. We are playing the PlayStation 4 version of NBA 2K24. I do want to mention that. So I feel like that's maybe where there may be some differences compared to some of the teams you might see some guys use on the PlayStation 5 and the difference of some of the teams you might see out there in the PlayStation 4, because PlayStation 4 version of NBA 2K24 does play like old 2Ks in the past. So when you're talking about like the paint dominance, right? Like if you have a Giannis out there, it's really going to shine more than maybe if you brought out Giannis on the PlayStation 5 version of the game. So we're going to wait for those team picks to come in. I trust your judgment because you have a lot more intel than I do with this. You're calling Lakers. It's probably going to be Lakers. Like, why not just like try to cancel each other out every single way? Like, why put yourself at a disadvantage really at this point?
Yeah, honestly, just, you know, play the most boring meta or otherwise. But you know what? It still can be fun depending on how you really do see kind of macro game come into play, and as well as to that bigger picture as well. These students aren't just playing for the big hardware that we get to see for PlayVS, but they're also playing for some scholarships too. I mean, for first place, you get $1,500. That's pretty massive. Second place is not going to walk away at all unhappy, as they're going to get $1,000. So, and then third and fourth, I believe that they already got decided on the other side of the bracket. They each got $500. So really cool that these students are finding ways to pay for those really expensive books if they're gonna be able to go to that next level. Look, I know they were $400 for a chemistry book back in 2009. It's inflation is crazy, so it had to have done something, but it's really awesome that PlayVS has been able to provide something like that as well, regardless if they play simply to the current or even the next generational meta. So I want to see what these players can go into, but I think right now that we're just kind of waiting for everything to kickstart before we get into the game.
Hey, this was almost like the pre-show to the main event. We gave the breakdown. We introduced everybody else. We are going to throw it to a quick break. When we do come back on the other side, we'll have the players ready. We'll find out who the teams are and to see who is going to start their stage being crowned the NBA 2K24 PlayVS Cup champion here in 2024. Welcome back to the PlayVS Cup 2024 NBA 2K24 National High School Championship. Dirk alongside HailMonkeyMan as we are waiting for the competitors to get underway. One of them was practicing, quit out of a game, got slapped with a little ban. That's what happens when you log out of the online game, so they have to flip-flop it around, you know, try to get the accounts back and ready. But we are all going to be situated. We're getting right into this. We're going to find out who these teams are. It is a Clippers versus Lakers matchup to kick things off.
That's something that I was expecting a little bit of. We got to see the Clippers as part of, I believe it was on Mr. James's side. We'll get to confirm that one way or another. But I did get to see some Clippers getting used throughout the regular season, and maybe not through this bracket. So when we see that, you actually have a lot of versatility, especially you don't have to rely so much on just a build up out of LeBron, but you also have Kawhi as well as Paul George. But I also get to see a lot of Harden as well as Russell. So they're going for some of that versatility here, and I do like the extra offense. You can really work around the arc to be able to get some of that pressure.
We can see, looking at them, I know that we're trying to get out there. It's actually going to be Easton High with the Clippers, and Bauxite are going to end up being the Lakers here in this one. I already like this, like when you have an automatic switch up, right? Of going away from your traditional LA, Lakers matchup, because they're both out there in LA. Getting a nice little dynamic, but again, going back and playing this game on the PlayStation 4, I can completely understand why, because this is like the meta back in the day, what you would have to do, like when you're playing team up or something. You would always want Kawhi Leonard. You would always want Paul George because of his height and his physicality. So we'll have to see how this ends up counteracting each other. This is LA's first possession out here with the Lakers, as AD thought about the pump fake on the shot, get walled up there by Zubac, and has to force it up now. And good defensive hold already coming out here from Eastern, and heavy emphasis out there in the break. It's the Beard going to be getting fouled and go to the line.
Oh man, squaring up with them, making sure they can't get something easy on the breakaway, and that's going to just add up as well. If you send Harden to the line, it's almost automatic at times, and so they'll already be up 5 here for our first minute of play. And whenever I get to see the Clippers, I always think, I'm like, man, Harden and Westbrook together again. I know Westbrook's not rated too high in this version, and he's just getting older and older. He's as old as me, you know. He's only 2 months, 2 months younger than me. I was like, man, how different our careers have been. But I'm like, come on, Westbrook. Let's go. We share a last name. Get it.
Yeah, it's been interesting, you know, following his career, of course, like when they played with James Harden, when they were both like, I mean, James Harden reached his prime. I'd say best season probably like when he was with the Rockets. And of course, everything Russell Westbrook has done. So now to see them come back together, you know, later on into their careers has been interesting. Like if you were to flash this team back like a few years, ultimate super team, you're like, oh, damn. Like they're one of the favorites probably out there in the West, but that's the thing. We're in present day. We got to look at the present. It's not the same, but they're a scrappy bunch. I hope that core ends up sticking together out there with the Clippers. As some double teams are already coming in here for Eastern. There's going to be a shot for Rui Hachimura from the right side, and that one's no good. More emphasis out here on the break. It's James Harden once more.
They're always finding him very, very quickly, especially when you're trying to take a few of those extra threats just off the corner from beyond the arc. And that was actually a lot of extra time. They were completely open, but they just couldn't be able to land it. So you got 7 here. It's just the first quarter. We got a lot of game to play. In case you get it, then no, we got series game on it. And oh, that's going to be a great intercept already. Turning the other direction. And it's been just so little time. They've really had to work. Finally, instead of it just being a breakaway, we're going to try and set up for a elongated offense.
And James Harden get real close to that takeover. No shot meter. I already like what I'm seeing. When you don't bring out the meter, I'm like, okay, you know what you're doing. Especially if the timing downs, you get the little boost when it comes down to your jump shooting. As Austin Reeves will be fouled there in the act of shooting, so Austin Reeves now goes to the line to shoot 2. I have Mr. James DC from Eastern Senior High School out there in Washington, D.C., coached by Winslow Jones and Lee James. And for Bauxite, they have Carol Anderson, the coach, and Beanie is the player represented out here with the Lakers as he splits those free throws 1 of 2. And James Harden getting ever so close to that takeover. And it's been a while because, again, this is the last season. I saw it in the Twitch chat of the PlayStation 4 version. So next year, we will be jumping into the next generation. It'll be out there, PlayStation 5 or Xbox, because crossplay is a thing now as a big 3 drops in there for the Clippers.
That's definitely something that got clarified to me a couple times. Whenever I saw some competitions in North Carolina, they're like, no, I play next gen. I would play differently. I'm like, okay, cool, all right. So how do you play now? They're like, oh, I play still just fine. And looking to see if they can just kind of pressure on the top of the key here. And again, it's getting stripped out. And on the other way, you just feel like this is so imbalanced. An easy layup. And we got 12-1 into this first quarter.
It is pretty ball right now being played by Mr. James DC, representing the Clippers well here in this one. I mean, one of the skill gaps that I've known from watching some of the best guys in the world play quick match is on the defensive end, and there's an offensive 3-second call. Watch how quickly they are constantly bouncing around from player to player with the icons and getting themselves into lanes and getting things set up. And you can see here, James taking a lot of his time on the offensive end. Is Kawhi Leonard, another shot up top and another green.
Exactly why you're going to the settings and saying, all right, we need to change something up in the coaching department, because you need to get yourself corralled in. It was just it looked like they were going to set up for the pick and roll, and then they ended up just kind of running up, fade away, set it up for the very top of the arc, and it was just easy threes from distance. So 15 points on this run right now, and Bauxite high. I mean, the Miners got to find something to dig their way out of this gap.
Well, I like what you did there with that one.
Thank you.
Easier said than done to come back from this lead and to come up with puns like that. As James Harden now with the shot creating takeover, looking for a lot of fades coming from 3 or the mid-range. Right on cue. Yep.
Wow.
Another basket made there. Kawhi Leonard. Things are not going to get easier out here for LA and Bauxite because he's got his lockdown takeover now.
9 points right now onto Harden, 1 for the entirety of the Lakers. You're able to finally get another one as they work instead of for elongated possession. Oh, make them jump beyond the arc. It's open, it's free, it's green as grass, and it's looking prettier on their side. An immediate takeaway. Not a chance. Do they do it to him again? That one a little bit off target, but the putback will get the 2.
I mean, when I talked to Tyler in person, I knew how good he was. I didn't get to actually see him play in person, though. But now I'm actually getting to see his gameplay on full display. The man backed up all the talks that he had when we interviewed him. I was like, you know what? These guys just chatter sometimes. Are they really that good? This looks like a man who just won this last year and is looking to go back-to-back. He wants to be a two-time champ.
Oh, man, the repeat could be a fast venture, and they come up to foul him just to give him a chance to go over and get a couple of shots, but they also give themselves a moment to just work their magic from beyond the arc. They've been taking 3 after open 3, and it's been so difficult to even get a strip away. This one, no. Oh, wait, no. The rim, wow. You can't stop the man.
It rattled and touched every single part of the rim before finally ending up dropping in, as it is now 25-5. Your eyes do not deceive you as they try to feed this one down to LeBron James, getting walled up. No 3-second call going to come in. Kawhi Leonard able to get another steal here as the Clippers look to run. He's heavy on this James Harden train, and it's Zubac flying high there for the rebound. Harden thought about the shot, and there's going to be a steal there from AD.
Tyler's thinking about going all the way back to the mid-court line just to see if they can get it, and there's going to be another foul. But, yeah, I feel like we're going to see a half-court shot here very swiftly, depending on how this one could get out of hand. And Tyler, you know, that you said you talked to him. I feel like they've obviously got a good head on their shoulders as well as in the game of NBA 2K, and they're showboating a little bit right now. They're definitely like, yo, I'm not just in the game beating you, I'm in your head. And I'm trying to make sure that you're not going to bounce back from this.
Yeah, like there's been, even right there in that last fast break that they had, they could have fed it off. I don't know who the player was running with it in transition. Maybe Terrence Mann instead decided to not go to it. Was like, I want to try to get up a 3 with James Harden again. They could have the last shot here in the first. The takeovers are going to start to dwindle away here for the side of Tyler and Eastern, as it's going to be Kawhi left wide open on the pop. You can't give him that much space. Another 3 drops in.
That's been 3 times. That exact same play has happened from out of Tyler, and at this point, it feels like it's just all business of the office. That's going to be a 23-point differential here in the first quarter. Dirk, this runaway train just left from the old station like the Flash, trying to set a land speed record.
Hey, the runaway train at Disney gave me nightmares as a kid. I faked cried so I wouldn't have to go on the ride back then. Fun fact, fun story. So now all the nightmares are coming back there. I enjoyed the ride once I got on it.
Okay. It's the anxiety of like, well, what the ride could be. You know?
I as somebody who's just not a fan of roller coasters, yeah, like no chance. I did not want to go there. But you know what? Ultimately, my parents like, grow up. You're going on the roller coaster. I was like, okay, I can't contest that. But 28-7. You remember I was talking in the pre-show. I mean, I watched a lot of 2K, probably more than a lot of people that are currently out there in the world. I have seen games where you'll have a first quarter like this, then you'll get a great second, third, and fourth. But the damage that was done in the first is sometimes way too much to overcome the next 3 games.
It's tough because you have to play a perfect game. Yet for the most part. Now we did talk about that. It has to be a really stellar, like, how do you work your bench? Are they going to be overusing their star player? Obviously, Harden has been kind of been the main feed man. You can kind of see that from their extra stamina that's been drilled down. But this top of the arc has been basically indefensible for the most part. And they're finally going to find one that doesn't have a possession going with some points. So now it's about how you actually can be able to wear down this wall that are the Clippers.
The interesting part about this, too, is that we haven't yet seen a single substitution. It has just been the same starting 5 that's been out there so far, but you're seeing the balance, right, of James Harden has the ball in his hands a lot, so obviously his stamina is getting drained. Kawhi a little bit more. Paul George has not had a lot of touches in this game, so at any given moment when those two start to get even more tired, Paul George could be the next guy to try to rise to the occasion.
You do get one, at least a couple here in this second quarter, as they go in a man-to-man coverage as well. So see if they can be able to just kind of press them out, body on body. But now that means that there's a lot of responsibility to just kind of keep your feet underneath you as they work it on top over to LeBron, seeing if they can be able to get around Harden himself. But no, as they just press the big man and work around the paint, they can't quite get it on the arc, and that will go and change hands.
It's usually a nice one-on-one mismatch. I think Kawhi Leonard getting down there to help with that extra contest did just enough to be able to force the misses. There's a miss on the other end. It'll be Anthony Davis corralling the rebound as LeBron gets it to Reeves in the corner. No shots going to be taken. Couple pump fakes coming out here from Bauxite. And they will go for a reset and try to slow some things down. Can't get the steal
Oh.
down low. The offense starting to find a little bit more of a rhythm.
They threaded the needle right there, and just as they were playing much more man, they let one sneak on through, and then they're trying to get him from behind and just slowly towing the line. And eventually, I think the and one comes in as well. No, that will end up just being that too. So it does change possession back over to Bauxite. So Bauxite slowly gearing up. It's been taking them a while, and they've really been driving the paint. The foul does come through.
That is something that you're going to have. And yeah, you see something like that. Okay, LeBron just bodied me. Let me now change all the matchups. So that's something that they can't continuously go to. So it looks like Kawhi Leonard's going to be on LeBron James, which love to call on that most definitely. But LeBron has a chance to capitalize the old-fashioned three-point play here for Bauxite. And the shot's going to go up, and it is good. 3 points secured there for the King.
Old man still showing that he can go to the line and find the easy ones after he's done the rest of the work beforehand. So, 3-point turn, and they've at least made this manageable. I say it's still half of 32, as this second quarter has been a much slower affair, but I feel like that's also Tyler just kind of working more of this clock. Oh, they're caught off, and that's going to be a foul as they're caught off balance trying to go up to the free throw line where they eventually end up anyway.
Seeing some adjustments now, and always in 2K people are like, oh, playing off ball's this, you need to play on ball, it's the best way to play. Seeing a little bit of off ball now coming out from both sides, maybe a little bit of gamesmanship. It's like, okay, I'm going to come out there, play my defense, but as soon as I see you do this, okay, like there's no love lost anymore. As Russell Westbrook flies out of the corner there to try to get the stop. Ball's going to be slapped away by Kawhi. Still slapped away, and that's going to be a backcourt violation. So it ultimately is going to go back to the way of the Clippers.
Dang, that's unfortunate because if he'd gotten the slap down, maybe would have ended up as kind of a neutral ball there at half court. And then they go immediately to threaten the three. It ends up turning into nothing. They're trying to turn it into something the other direction, going all the way to the outside wing and let everyone settle. It's nearly caught in traffic as they go straight into the paint. And it's been a lot of chaos here just trying to be able to get this next possession rocking.
Well, trust me, 2K champ out there in the Twitch chat, I agree with you. Playing off ball is very tough to combat, and it makes me want to quit the game as soon as I get in there. It is so hard to be able to score sometimes when people are doing just that. But hey, when there's money on the line, I'll do it too. No shame at all.
You're playing for the win, not for friends. Trying to be able to get it right at the line, and that will be another one going through here for Tyler and Eastern Senior High. So still damage being done, and they're going to make the big man run all the way around. It is just congested traffic on this right side wing, and you make him jump, and you're going to draw that foul. Good bit of pacing there.
It's all about when you have nothing, the desperation sometimes go straight up with it, try to bank on fouls going your way, as 80 will make the first one. Judging from the substitution strategy, I mean, we've only seen one sub this whole game, and that was to bring Russell Westbrook in for Eastern High. I'm wondering if that's just going to be the case, right? Like they get the Gatorade, they get tired, but I mean, you're wide open, difficulties on superstars, so it's going to be a little easier to make some of these shots. Maybe we're just going to see them drain them all the way down to where their stamina is at nothing.
Yeah, they're going to be looking like me trying to still go shopping at Walmart and praying that everything pans out. Oh, that one in and out of the rim, and then it is freebie.
Oh, no.
I'm still even go to the backboard. Another three. That's up for 42. That's 2 threes in a row.
That's how you know you're feeling good. You have a break opportunity. You could have taken the easy two. It's like, nah, I'll stop and pop and take the three. As this one getting out of hand, as the first half is getting closer to coming to a close, 42-20, a 22-point lead right now for Eastern Senior High School. Paul George, shot critic takeover, breaks the ankles, pump fakes on the shot, and greens it with LeBron trying to get the contest.
That they had so much time. You could have taken a selfie in the midst of all that. And now they try to do it the other direction. They'll at least grab a couple. But, we're still 1 point better than we were before walking into this quarter. That halftime is going to be so telling. And they're going to look to at least find some extra points on the turnaround. Oh, just couldn't bank it in. And maybe chuck it from distance. But this one will fall short.
Tyler's got the sauce. This is a man who plays this game a lot, because whenever you have that shot creating takeover, that move that he's doing, like the stop and plant, the turnaround, will take ankles every single time. You just saw it back-to-back right there. Was able to make the first one, couldn't make the second one. I think that has a little bit to do with him actually shooting the fadeaway compared to a normal jumper. But Eastern Senior High School, Mr. James looking very good here in this game, number one. But it is a best of three. These are two of the best high school NBA 2K24 players that we have in the entire country. Adjustments will be made at some point. Maybe not this game, right? Maybe it gets to a point where, like, okay, I have to shift to game two as there's another ankle breaker, another shot, and another green. Mixing it all together. Nice little combo breaker there.
Feels like it's just unstoppable, just an infallible type of offense. As it's the same move nearly over and over again. You get at least driving into the paint to be able to just kind of stabilize, and you're not seeing at least the three to open things up from Tyler. But it's been tough, and you know I cast a lot of car ball, and so I talk about leaving axles on the field. Ankles are doing much the same thing right now, as there is just a collection of them well beyond the arc.
Oh, speak about beyond the arc, it's Paul George again. Knocking down the shot. And the issue is, too, here for Bauxite is that LeBron James and Rui Hachimura both got their takeovers, but it was right at the end of the half. So when you go into the second half, like, they're completely gone. Now, you don't get as much usage with them as you might have had before, so that's the tough part. But the offense continues to roll out here for the Clippers. They are turning LA blue.
This is a LA v LA match caught La La Land one way or another, as both these teams trying to sing similar tunes, but instead it's Tyler that's basically carrying all of it. Can't get it on the rebound. And again, who's open? And they're going to go off the right wing. That one's going to bounce off rim, but never to at least be denied a chance. So set up for another three, and that's just going to trade hands regardless.
And Paul George, this time for way downtown. Another green there for Paul George. 22 points. As Bauxite will go to the pause menu, we are looking through the point of view of Eastern Senior High School, so we don't get to see any of the adjustments. We got to see a little bit of what Tyler was bringing to the tables. There's another steal on the inbound, 55-24, as James Harden, they're getting their money's worth from him this game. Gatorade for him, Kawhi, Gatorade for him as well, as they look to reset things here with under 10 seconds on the shot clock. Another shot from way downtown. Just having some fun at this point with some of these attempts.
Oh my gosh, we're 31 points up, and you know it's going to be a little bit short. They do at least get the dunk, but you're just feeding it to the arc. Don't force them through. And Harden, I mean, I think the man loves to be able to take shots, so why not? As they consistently force them nearer and nearer to the half court line, and again, no one's really been finding pressure, especially Bauxite, as the Miners just see them like continue to be rolled, and great rotation to get that one on that next three. Oh, and what a steal! As they try to keep it in bounds.
What I'm noticing too is like we just had this whole discussion with some of, you know, players playing off ball and you know, some actively staying out there guarding one-on-one. He's taken advantage of the off ball because like I don't think the defensive settings are all there and some of the stuff that he has to do. That's why he's getting so many open looks when he's just running his normal pick and roll from up top. Yep. Again, adjustments to be made. I don't know exactly what they're exactly going to be. Is it going to be a team switch? Is it going to have to be something going into the coaching strategies here for both sides? I mean, obviously for Eastern Senior High School, it's easy. Stick with the Clippers. Don't change off the Clippers. There's no point to swap off the Clippers at this point. But for Bauxite, I mean, if LA has been the team that so many of these guys have been using, is there any reason that you would have to try to switch off of them?
I mean, I don't think so, other than the fact that it's just an ego play. But hey, man, you know what? I played a lot of Lakers. You've been playing a lot of Lakers. I've been bringing I'm going to bring the Clippers to bring a little bit of speed that you're not ready for. But you know what? I'll bring LeBron and I'll show you how he's played and see if maybe that's just enough to break them. Game number 2 is going to be wild. Right now, it's still a 30-point differential. And of course, there's just been nonstop threes being chucked up, and a huge bucket of them are being picked up by Tyler.
Something I just realized about this game, the Clippers building their own arena. They will no longer be sharing with the Lakers. I don't know if that's going to be happening next year or the year after. I don't know. Sometimes, like with these development of arenas, they build them so fast, and other ones I feel like just take so long. But yeah, the Clippers will finally have their own home base. So when it'll actually be like a home and away game now, right? Like I was always one of those people. I'm looking at Crypto Arena. The Clippers are home, but I'm like, is Crypto Arena or Staples Center, what it used to be, ever home for the Clippers against the Lakers? Yeah. Like, come on.
It's about when they brought over the San Diego Chargers before they had their actual their stadium, and they were just like in a high school stadium basically. I'm like, all right, give them something, man. This looks awful, and so I'll like that. That'll be fun. But LA also knows how to make great stadiums too. Like they sink a lot of awesome investment into them, so it'll be a cool place. And 37 up. Well, third quarter's, to this point, this first game's a bit out of hand. Unreachable, would you say, Dirk?
Oh, 1,000%. I've seen a lot of crazy comebacks in my time. But, I mean, if there was a comeback from this, stamp it as the best all-time in the history of 2K. I feel like I'm certified to maybe give that stamp, but it'll be so hard to try to come back from a deficit like this, especially just because the offense is looking so good. Like, the defense is great, but every single time down, it just seems like it's 3 after 3 after 3.
You may see Tyler, if he simply wants to have a longer series, challenge himself and pick another squad other than Clippers or even Lakers to try and go into this one. You're going to get at least something from distance here. But, go crazy with it. Maybe pick up the Suns. I don't know. Just try and see what you can kind of work around. But they just consistently are finding open looks. I mean, you're talking about playing off ball and how they can't really get that defense to kind of cut that distance. I feel like there has to be some kind of much more sincere type man, especially if he intends to stay with the Clippers going into game number 2.
A lot of it is you can't give open jump shot opportunities. And I feel like almost every single shot that we've been seeing Eastern Senior High School take has been an open shot from up top of the arc. Look, it's another open shot here for Kawhi, and it's another green there for Kawhi Leonard. He's got 27 points in the game. As we are done with the third quarter, we will be advancing over here into the fourth. It is 72-33 for everybody watching out there at home. Eastern Senior High in complete control so far of this game. They more than likely will take game number 1, but it is a best of 3, so that magic number that you have to try to get to is 2. I mean, judging from how they're playing, I like the LA pick. I think there just has to be a little bit more emphasis on getting out there to the 3-point line and just kind of not allowing them to make the pick and roll look so easy. If not, I'm just a fan of when people use the Bucks. I like when Giannis is out there. I like when they got Damian Lillard now, something that I feel like a lot of people when they're selecting the Bucks are like, oh man, I get Giannis. Who else? They got D Lillard now out there in Milwaukee.
You know what? I was saying before the game even started, I was like, you know what? Anything but Bucks, please and thank you. I've seen a lot of Giannis fans. But at this point, change it up. Grind this game to a halt. Make it tough for Tyler to do what he's doing, because it's been floor domination at this point. And look how they're actually getting a bit of double coverage on him as well, trying to be able to really kind of get that pick and roll set up. And again, it's been so tough. They're just kind of swinging the ball left and right in front of his face, daring him to kind of reach in and see if he can at least chase him down. But that's a lot of stamina uses, and they go all the way into the elbow. This one should be free, and it will end up coming up off the backboard.
And he knew exactly what he was doing there. It's like, I'm boxed up. I'm going to throw this up. And you saw as soon as the shot went up, he actually user switched over to Zubac, got the box out there on AD as there's a huge block at the rack there by Zubac, and then ended up just throwing it down. It's a crazy performance to have at this stage in game number 1, but I don't want to say sit there and say, are we surprised, right? This is a proven guy who's done this time and time again. We saw the record in the pregame. Other than that one blemish, I mean, the rest of the way in the playoffs so far, just been undefeated going in here into the finals as Paul George hits a little showtime.
You know what? You look into perfect records, and you're saying that you love a good perfect record. To try and stay perfect is almost unattainable at times. And I like teams and players that have to learn from their mistakes as well as from those losses. And it feels like Tyler may not allow them to learn too quick. They're going to give a seminar on how to get dubs after this one is done. And already at least something to be gained here in quarter number 4 is just how you want to set up into your next game, considering how deep this is now at 40 plus points. I mean, Tyler wants to be able to win that mental warfare.
This is where you just have no let up. Don't give them any type of momentum. Don't allow them to get free open opportunities. Like just keep your foot on the gas. Keep playing your game. I'll be out in DC next week, so I wonder if I'll see Tyler at our NBA 2K League event and get to talk to him. It's like, man, I want to play you. Let me see how good you are, and just watch me lose by 50 points. That is something that would definitely end up happening, as Anthony Davis is now on cold. Zubac with another steal. Kawhi Leonard in transition 3. Green again for Kawhi Leonard. The score stands at 81-35 as, I mean, it's been official for a little bit of time now. Eastern Senior High School is going to take game number 1. They're going to go up 1-0. But now we got to find out what type of adjustments are Bauxite going to make here going into game 2. Is it going to be a team switch? Is it just going to be a strategy switch? I feel like this is where you know, especially when you're at this age playing in high school, right? Like when you go down, the whole mental battle, having somebody else to pick you up, gonna have to be a lot of work done there with the coaching staff out here at Bauxite as well. Carol Anderson gonna be the one kind of leading the charge there, having those extra set of eyes to see what they can improve on going into this next game.
Yeah, and you're talking about maybe possible team switches. They've really been hard running. In fact, just solo running the Lakers for the majority of the regular season, as well as this bracket. A couple times, they flex the Thunder. They flex the Pacers. So maybe something like that could come in, just at least turn things around. But that also could be whenever Tyler decides to switch things right back over to the Lakers and show you how it's done. So you got to be careful if you want to get a bit too courageous in how you want to be able to switch things. This is actually going to be from the baseline, as you do have an extended possession here for Bauxite, as they've been boxed out. Oh, great spin into the paint, but that one's going to go off the front of the rim, and unfortunately it doesn't come away with a bucket.
And another shot's going to go up. That's from Paul George. We really Hachimura securing the rebound there for Bauxite. As I think, yeah, we got a Jackson Hayes. Yeah, you brought that up, right? You're saying, oh, like you're making a substitution, but look at the stage of the game that we're at and the lead where it's at. I mean, maybe the Jackson Hayes switch could be something going through. I also see Christian Wood out there. Big throwdown again coming out there from Kawhi. 32 points in the game now. Just a collection of points. So I think singular players have more than what the Lakers have in total. You do at least get an alley-oop in one way and then a nice setup off the backboard for another. But wow. Yeah, coaches are going to have their hands full to keep Tyler from just feeling too amazing and untouchable, and from for being out of Bauxite High School to stay in the game. Because this one, you know, would this ruin you? I mean, if you were talking about how you want to take on Tyler, I think you're going to have to set that to 3-minute quarters, man, just in case this doesn't get too out of hand. You know what? Yeah, I probably would, just for the sake of it. Or I would just rage quit. That's the thing. Like, when me and him play, it'd be a friendly matchup. I have no shame in just quitting out of the game and turning off my console.
Tossing the controller just away.
Yeah, I'm testing the durability of whatever controller that I have, and I'll make sure to leave an Amazon review on it as well. As it's 88-41, Kawhi Leonard with another three, another green going his way. I mean, I don't even want to say you take the risk of not using LA and you come out there with the Clippers again, because this is being played in the PlayStation 4 version. It's a lot different from maybe what you see from the meta over towards next gen compared to this console, just from the personnel that you have. But I was not expecting a Kawhi Leonard masterclass. And even then, too, it was all set up with James Harden. He had 31. That was the go-to for so much of this game, and the pick and roll was with James Harden. But as soon as he started to get tired, that's when he leaned on Kawhi Leonard and Paul George as well, as 91-43. Still trying to add to the totals. Is there going to be any dribbling out the clock here?
Yeah, I think they want to get to triple digits. It's been a while since I've seen 100, but it's actually going to be pretty difficult because that one's just going to bounce in, out, and getting around. I don't think we're going to hit a hundo. So we're going to go in through game number 1 and into game number 2 from the half-court line, and it still hits rim. You knew I was asking for it the entire time, but Eastern Senior High, the Ramblers, well, they go rambling on, and they take this series lead in I feel like this is understating it, but Dirk, a dominating showcase.
Hey, it's time for us to ramble now. See, now I'm starting to get the puns a little bit. I'm gonna try to show my magic off. But as one-sided as a game can get, we had mentioned LA's a hot pick, the Clippers another hot pick, and you kind of saw how it ended up going when you get James Harden, Kawhi Leonard in the hands of one of the best high school NBA 2K24 players that we have in the country. This highlight reel is going to be a lot of threes, a lot of big-time dunks down the stretch. We saw a couple lob posters, you name it. It is really just going to be the Eastern Senior High School show here in these replays.
It's tough to not be, because, I mean, you know, Tyler, they're going for the repeat championship, and it can't be understated either that this is some of the best talent in the entirety of the country. Tyler, obviously, their program out of DC has been so good in finding it from that 23 title, and now it feels like it's all in control, but that's just your first game of this series, and they did it from beyond the arc so many times, and just, it was unstoppable, nearly untouchable.
Big W's for Tyler in the chat. It was a whole lot of this. It was James Harden. It was Kawhi Leonard. It was Paul George. We did start to see at the start of the second quarter more of an offensive rhythm starting to come out here for Bauxite. The and one there for LeBron James kind of ended up setting the tone. But when you flip it back over to the other side, like the offense was just relentless, and the confidence to take some of the shots with or without takeover. I mean, some of these shots that were getting taken by the likes of James Harden, saw there from Paul George, like how far away he was from the three-point line. Like they were shooting from the Crypto Arena logo on breaks. It was Eastern Senior High School. Instead of going down and taking the easy two, it was them running out to the three-point line and almost toying with them to an extent. But that's what I like to see, right? Foot on the gas, give them no type of sense of confidence going into this game too, because this is all you need. You just need this one more win and you are crowned our 2024 champion.
I thought eventually they're going to run a skit where the mascot was going to hand them a water bottle at the half-court line and then still go for the three. Just go for it. But you know what? Tyler sets the precedent. They set the pace, and now it's got to be a trend if they want to get this done in 2-0 fashion. Bean, on the other hand, well, Bauxite High, they're leaning upon them and the coaching staff to be able to get themselves into a better mindset. From what we just got told, it's going to be the same team. So now that we know that it will not be a change, if anything, on paper, it's got to be a change of how the players play on the court. You got to shut them down from beyond the arc. You got to force them to have to really contend for more of those twos.
I would like to see, again, like I know how overpowered the off-ball defense can be in the game of NBA 2K, but this is one where the off-ball is just being used against you completely. This has to be more of an on-ball type set. The matchups have to be done right. We're still looking through the point of view of Eastern Senior High School with Tyler, so you're seeing some of the changes that he's making. I mean, I told you, they go through this pretty quick. Like, I try to look at, like, some of the drive help and some of the other things. The one change we're actually seeing being made was one that we saw him do after LeBron got an and one, where he's like, immediately, he's like, I'm putting Kawhi Leonard on LeBron. Before, he just had it defaulted. It was kind of like everybody's guarding everybody. But nice to see the settings here come on through as we get this one underway. It is the Clippers starting off with the ball. It is Eastern Senior High School in control of the series, up 1-0. We'll see what adjustments get made here from Bauxite. And there's the first open miss coming out here from Tyler.
Yeah, this started with an open three in the first game, so good to see at least how they try to pick, roll, drive. But no, again, both sides not coming away with points. They relied so much on opening the game up with Harden. I like that they at least shut him down early, but yeah, you're talking about how quickly they just kind of go through some of their setups. I swear these kids are mathematicians, just knowing the quick buttonology to be able to get their comfort zone and how they want to play.
It's like I have the, I don't even know what you want to call it. Like the muscle memory to rage quit out of games. I can quit a game real fast, but I can't go through and change all my settings like exactly like that quickly. That is a skill gap. I don't think at the bright age of 29 years young, as the kids would say. I don't have it in me anymore to be able to master all those type of settings. I'll take my sweet time with it. There's like a 2-minute timer that you have to go off when the game's paused. I'm going to use every second possible. It's going to be the Clippers there with the steal. Zubac, the one out there on the break. Didn't even have to cross half court for that, as the early lead goes over here to Eastern Senior High.
Yeah, they've been able to kind of stretch this court a little bit wider. You're seeing Tyler caught off guard as they go for direct man-on-man, and that's actually going to be our first three pickup. So for the first time, and I think like ever, we have a lead out of Bauxite.
A lot better start. I mean, by this stage, approaching the halfway point in the first quarter, it was like, what, a 15-point game already? So good to see the way that this ended up flipping around. We saw a look at the bracket, how they ended up getting to this spot. Of course, Tyler playing out there in Washington, D.C., the spring 2024 play versus Eastern Region champion. And, of course, from Bauxite High School, spring 24 play versus Arkansas Region champion. As Bauxite coming out here with some fire early.
Yeah, a couple of threes get knocked down, and that's something that they're probably going to cut down on space. I mean, the biggest separator you had was the swift passing at the top of the key, and that's what's happening a lot, as they're going to get the pick and roll, and Harden's been getting a ton of space, and yet they couldn't get on timing. And, you know, maybe they fall into the tiniest hole, and this is something that Bauxite is going to try and really bank off of.
Never want to leave somebody open. I'm already seeing the defensive strategy is being switched here for Bauxite when they're guarding that pick and roll, pick and pop action. As LeBron James spins off, Kawhi's going to get the stop. As Paul George, the one leading the charge, Rui Hachimura on his hip, tries to shoot the turnaround. Now they'll get it over to Terrence Mann, back up top to James Harden. A lot of the damage being done in that first quarter, game number 1 with the beard. As they go out to Paul George, he's getting bumped around. Offense not as fluid as it once was. PG can't get that one to go. It's a rebound by the Lakers.
Just putting a body on them and then forcing them to have to walk through you. Oh, LeBron James going to reach over the top, and they're going to find another to build up with it. So now they can't exactly get over this immovable gate. The Lakers from Bauxite has really taken a stable approach to it. They are going to have another open three, but they have not come away with any. I don't think they've accounted for a three as of yet.
Every shot that's been going up has been clanked hard off the rim. And the one way to come back in a game is always defense leading to offense. But even out here on the breaks, it has been doing a phenomenal job of getting back and not giving them anything easy. Kawhi Leonard, no open look there. Paul George gets the shot up. That one's going to clank hard off the front of the rim as well. Bauxite coming out here playing angry. I like what we're seeing, but there's another stop. Can they capitalize off the steal? No! Stolen away by Rui Hachimura. The Lakers trying to go the other way. Kawhi Leonard now gets it. It's going to be thrown to Zubac. Pandemonium out here in LA.
Absolute chaos. They're riding in the streets, but then they bring it to the court line, and it ends up being just a 5v5 ball game as they at least grab one. LeBron over top. They will get fouled in transition, so they will approach the line. Dirk, this is a completely different identity from what we saw in the first game.
What do they say? Like, is it the Benny music, the circus music when things start to get a little bit chaotic? Yeah. One person diving, cameras constantly flipping around every single time. That is the largest lead that we've seen come out here for Bauxite. 4 points, 12-8 here in the first. As James Harden head full seam to the rack, will go to the line to now shoot 2.
Wouldn't know that this was a 40-point diff plus from game number 1 with the way this first quarter has been going. Been playing a much tighter game, and adjustments have been made to cut down on that free space, and also just none of these threes have been able to get picked up by Eastern. So what can they turn around with? Oh, with the feet again. Another foul will be coming on in, and that's our third one in a row. This second one here against the Clippers.
I know that's one that Tyler probably looks at like, man, Austin Reeves going up with a dunk with the center right there in perfect position to punch the ball away, and ends up going to the line to shoot another pair of free throws, knocks both of those down. Just kind of waiting to see. Will we see Tyler end up popping off like he did with James Harden, like he did with Paul George, Kawhi Leonard in that first quarter? Haven't seen too much of it yet, as he wants to go one-on-one with Anthony Davis down low. Good defense, just walling it up. Good patience coming out there from Bauxite. LeBron James now leading the charge. He's got D'Angelo Russell there on his left. The spin move, the pump fake goes up with it. Good stop there from Paul George.
I feel like they miss an opportunity to really kind of feed into that extra option. They streak through the top of the paint. Wow, that's the first time for a while that they're free. That is another missed three. I think that accounts for 5 empty right now. And LeBron, I'm trying for the feed. That will bank off a player's hands, and it looks like it will go the other way.
He's already missed more open shots this game than we saw the entirety of that game number 1, probably in terms of misses total. I know that he was down the stretch shooting a lot of shots from way downtown, probably not even like a greenable range, as Austin Reeves can't get the long jumper to go. That's going to be the end of the first, and a big battle back coming out here from Bauxite in game 2, really starting to set the tone with the Lakers. And Berlin Cass definitely put it out there in the chat. Feels like Bauxite finally found their rhythm. They are settled in. I fully agree. And not only that, they get to start off the ball here in the second.
Into the first quarter of the previous game, I believe it was a 17 to 20 point differential in favor of Eastern Senior. This time around, we've got Bauxite, and they're really walking away with big points on every single possession. Now, there's been a couple of big steals. Got to see how Eastern Senior will be able to answer. And again, even from within the arc, they're just not hitting them.
We call that when you get the timing that bad. Oh, it's a 4-point play!
What? Oh,
Rui Hachimura will go to the line to shoot 1 to put him up by double digits.
That is some unfortunate. Oh wow, 10 points here over Eastern Senior. Tyler has got to be like, okay, all right, we're gonna start literally seeing the gamer lean begin. They do find AD a bit off balance, but they have not given up the top of the key, and I think that's really been the key to this defense overall, putting a body in the way, and they're completely smothered, gonna get denied, and again on the counter, it looks like they're just setting up shop.
There's no answer right now for Tyler in Eastern Senior High. This has been domination coming out here from Bauxite. They do force the miss there, but I think we're just waiting right now for Tyler just to get a 3. Like, I don't know if he's even had one this whole game yet. He's had some open looks, but hasn't capitalized, hasn't been able to get any decent timing on some of the open looks, so he'll just go ahead and try to barrel his way in. There's going to be a reach and foul call there on Austin Reeves, so they'll get 14 seconds back on the clock.
Trying to see if they can get it again to his favorite spot. Been able to really open things up. A lot of off-ball defense, but that thing has really been queued up. They're just going to drive the lane. That one, an easier one, but like you've been saying, we've had 5 missed threes out of Tyler, which is completely just uncharacteristic considering what we saw for free. They could set up a shop at the top of the arc. Oh, and that's going to be a misplay as they try to get it over, but no. Finally, maybe something hits. No, they can't even get that one.
Yeah, I was like, maybe the way to swing momentum your way isn't having Russell Westbrook shoot a 3. But, you know, sometimes you got to do what you got to do when someone has an open look. 20-12, a little bit low scoring compared to what we ended up seeing in that game number 1. As LeBron will get walled up there in the paint, ball always slaps out of bounds. That's actually going to go to the Clippers, so must have knocked off D'Angelo Russell there. As some adjustments now coming in there for Bauxite, maybe some substitutions as well, something to keep in mind.
You got to wonder what's going through Tyler's head, because obviously being over here for Bauxite is playing their game and they're playing it well, but you know, knowing that your matchups that you did a little bit ago are just not working out. Harden left with a basically open expressway to the net, so that will cut this one down to 6, and they would love to be able to get this one tied up, but so far it has been a cooking machine, and then no one here to deny the dunk.
I would say the toughest part when you're playing the game of 2K is when you're open and you just cannot find a rhythm. It really starts to get into your head, especially when you're on fire in game number 1. It's like, what happened between game 1 and 2? It's where all of a sudden these same shots that I'm taking aren't falling at the highest clip. But we'll have to see if there's any more adjustments being made, as there's going to be a still defense now kicking in. Paul George able to slap that one away. Russell Westbrook able to crowd there for the Clippers. Ball knocked back away into the hands of James Harden. They're starting to get some twos, starting to get some stops, but on the other side of things, LA, they have been getting up more threes, and I wasn't the greatest in high school when it came down to mathematics, but I know 3 is larger than 2.
It might be. Use that greater than symbol, everyone. Oh, but LeBron James is also finding more than just a couple times that they've been able to get in deep into the paint. They've pretty much been dominating it. And, I mean, Harden has barely had space to really work with, and that's Tyler as well, as they've had to go all the way to the baseline to get something to work, and they do at least get another. So this is still within reach. You really had no more than about 6 or 8 points between these two, one-time double digits. They're going to start burning down this clock.
Ooh, defensive 3 seconds.
Oh, boy.
Caught floating around the paint just a little bit too much, so they'll get an easy one. And they'll get the ball right back. 16 seconds on the shot clock to work with. We got a Spencer Dinwiddie siding out here for the Lakers. Already seeing some more players being utilized here with the substitutions than we did all of game number 1, as Anthony Davis has to put something up there. Zubac jumps out of bounds, gets the rebound, but he was out of bounds when he grabbed it.
just a leg too far. They're ginormous men, and they're trying to stay in the court, but sometimes it's impossible. Have that soft feed in, good roll, and that's going to be another up on the board. Right back up to a 9-point lead.
I think right now Tyler's probably playing the takeover game. He's just waiting for Kawhi Leonard or James Harden especially to get some takeover going, but hasn't even got close to it. I think he got in the first 2 minutes in game 1. Nothing here game 2 as another shot goes up. This time it's slightly late. 23% covered there on the contest. As AD and LeBron look to work this break, they will set up shop up here with Austin Reeves before getting it back down to AD. Tries to go for the double team. Reeves to LeBron, going down the baseline! Rockabye, baby, goes to cradle there for LeBron James.
Gonna put up the finger, tell them all to be quiet. It's a snooze fest out here, and the Clippers, they are getting clipped, and their wings, they're not able to fly, but Harden is able to at least go up for something to come away as a consolation gift. 40 seconds to go, though, and if you're feeling pretty good about how this game has manifested in real time.
You like how it's going because you're not giving up the 3 ball. You're kind of just saying, if you want to take 2s the rest of the way and we're just trading 2s back and forth, hey, guess what? I have a double-digit lead. I'm going to win this game if it keeps going down that way. The only threat will be if Tyler starts to get hot from behind the arc. That's where maybe you have some concern there if you're Bauxite. But everything working and funneling inside right now for Eastern Senior High. The good part is we still have another whole half, so you can play this 2s game, try to get some stops on the other end. As they work this one around, Austin Reeves will put the ball down the floor. It's going to take the shot. Way too much space. It almost looks like the controller died there for a second. Last shot, we'll go over here to Eastern Senior High. Zubac bunched around. Kawhi Leonard for three. LeBron with another contest. And what, I mean, this is a crazy bounce back. To put it into perspective for what we saw from game number one, but the Bauxite Miners getting it done here, Bean coming out on fire here in game two as we start the second half.
If my math is anywhere near accurate, there was zero for at least 7 3-point attempts from Tyler to acquire and be acquired in that first half. That is absurd. And maybe another one as they can get for the step back, they're actually going to drive up straight into the belly of the beast and into LeBron James. But yeah, you got to feel like Tyler is in this weird kind of conundrum, like, I can't trust my shooters right now, and so I have to drive this lane.
He's getting what we call in the game of 2K, like the broken back animation. Everyone would be like, they get the shots like, oh, I broke everything. And it's that bad that your release is like, it's not that good that your guy all of a sudden, like in midair, he starts like contorting. So like every time you're seeing him shoot, his guy's like almost falling to the ground. You're like, okay, I already know that one's not going in. That's never a good sign. The issue is too, right? Now you're starting to try to hunt for threes with a lot of guys who have Gatorade. They don't have a lot of stamina. That is another major issue that Tyler's going to have to combat here in this one. As back to the paint we go. James Harden, big left-handed slam.
I just imagined for your broken back metaphor that it's just the Air Jordan symbol just turned sideways. Just whoop, just spun all the way around. But
yeah. That's probably like the best way to honestly, and like maybe put him sideways and then like tilt it a little bit more. Maybe make one of the legs a little bit more crooked. One arm down, one arm up. Like, it's not very
PNG
pretty.
symbol and just stretch it in absurd ways. Oh, LeBron kind of uncovered as he ends up kind of tripping over himself, feeling like he should have had at least a body to cover him up. And that one ends up being a free ball, and then it's going to get tussled to each other. So we're going to have a jump ball coming up.
This will be big if Tyler's able to win this jump ball and get a score, because he's been getting some stops but hasn't been able to capitalize. James Harden, Rui Hachimura tipping it off, and it'll be Kawhi Leonard coming out here for LA. Paul George now with Austin Reeves on him. There's a mismatch somewhere. Zubac will go down low. The post spin and the big two-hand slam from the big fella. Oh, he's hanging on the rim.
Just too much power. Nearly broke glass. Oh, but also it maybe needed to break some glass in case of fire, because they're just lighting something under the feet here of the Lakers. LeBron going to work again deep into the purple paint, and he's going to come away with another one. So, you know, you're talking about trading twos. When do you start getting a bit uncomfortable? It feels like third quarter is just to try and keep pace with what these this squad is put up here from the side of Bauxite.
I thought they were going to have to call time out there for a second. Yeah, I mean, if it's a single-digit lead as Kawhi gets a look, it's another slightly late. They'll tip this one away, and it goes right to LeBron. I think if you have single digits heading into the fourth, you don't have to worry about threes. Now, if it starts to get to a double-digit range, yeah, like you're going to have to find some threes from somewhere. But right now, I mean, 2 minutes and 20 seconds left. This is a 9-point lead. We could see this 9-point lead completely evaporate by the time that the third is over if there's a run that is put together there by Tyler. So you're not in desperation mode yet. You can still continue to go for stops and just take your twos and then be able to fight back in this game.
Which is why we see Bean being really consistent about how they want to go up. And oh my goodness, the over-under posterizing them straight in the paint.
You played the best defense that you possibly could, and it ends up being a facial there for Zubac. Poor guy. He's like, oh, I got the stop. Don't worry about it. And then that ends up happening. James Harden getting ever so close to this takeover. Might just be a bucket away. Wide open three here from the right side. No good again.
That's 0 for 9. We're waiting for 0 for double digits, which is not what you want to see and hear. No, if you're Tyler. Again, a couple different threats. A great pick here. They're going to run it up with Harden, and Harden is just going to have an amount of speed. They want to find something with a 3 mark on it just to at least make a statement that they can still get that shot off, but wearing down that stamina as, again, Harden ends up with the rock. They do it from within the arc. That one goes off rim.
I mean, so many of the shots that he's now taking always have a little bit of a contest added onto it. Second guesses himself there. They do reset with Kawhi now back to James. Austin Reeves in front of him. That was going to be swatted away by Hachimura. Harden hits the deck. The Lakers trying to run with this one. Wide open shot. LeBron from the corner. Splashes it in. And it is Bauxite with a 12-point lead again.
It couldn't be any prettier. In the other direction, they're able to get a dunk down just to tell everyone to calm down, and they stay within distance of 10. But wow, the immediate feed process, the machine is clipping on all cylinders, and they're not even going to test the shot from distance like they would in the previous game. This time, they're just going to make sure to stay within distance of Bauxite.
I was about to say, you see where the confidence level's at now, right? That last game,
Oh,
he
yeah.
was stopping and shooting that one. This one, he's like, oh no, like I have to take my points. I'm down by so much. They go the length of the floor, not the cleanest of catches as it finds its way to Paul George, back to Harden. Got to get out of the paint here, and they do. And they will reset things. It's with Terrence Mann. No points yet for him. So close to the takeover, though. That's why he's going towards him. Little takeover hunting now coming out here from Eastern Senior High. Paul George with 3 seconds on the clock. AD meets him in the paint. Zubac has to go up with it. Oh, it gets it to go over the defensive takeover of Anthony Davis. 3 seconds left in the third. LeBron to Hachimura puts a shot up. Can't get it to go. It is 44-38. A much closer game than what we had in game number 1. And it's flipped. It is the Bauxite Miners with the lead heading into the fourth and final quarter here of game 2.
For all the flash, for all the flair, it is just a 6-point game. And for as improved as we've seen Bauxite, Eastern Senior led by Tyler, it is only 1 quarter away if they can mount a comeback to get themselves a championship, a repeat at that, and they're going to start it off here with his first bucket.
I mean, I know it's hard to say you walk away with a win or like you're happy going to the fourth only being down by 4. When you are a team that has yet to make a single 3 and you are down by 4, that is like a silver lining victory. That is okay. Like we are still fully in this game as there's going to be a missed 3 from the corner. Can they get the rebound? They can. They have a chance to bring it to within 1 possession here. Russell Westbrook with the spin move will kick it out to Paul George for the first 3 when it matters most. Doesn't even matter. It's not green. They are down by 1, and Paul George has the takeover.
When they need it at the absolute most clutch moment, they've got to stop the King as they drive into their territory. And finally, that will be hands on ball as they are able to get that second effort. Now it's about how Tyler keeps this one just within distance. They don't have to force any extra threes. Quick passing from in and outside the arc. A nice spin again, and they're going back to their bread and butter.
Crazy run being put on here by Tyler to be able to battle back. The 1-3 that he's had was able to bring it to within 1. But Bauxite, they have been in such a smooth offensive rhythm that there's a miss. We got a chance for Tyler, I think, to take his first lead of the game. Feels weird saying that after game 1. Harden from way downtown. It's a miss.
I don't mind that he's threatening that distance because he's going to force Bean to have to go and meet them in open floor. So as you get a little bit too fast, oh, that's going to be James trying to drive it. And again, another intercept. Harden looking for options. They go all the way up. And now he's just kind of looking to settle down. Another spin. It's wide open again. And that will finally be a change of the lead. Tyler has been breathing for it, and now they can breathe some life.
Well, achievement unlocked. The comeback has happened, but can you hold on? They have a chance to take the lead right back here with some free throws. Here for Bauxite, it is LeBron James stepping to the stripe for 2. Well, taking his time with it. This is where it's getting intense. Like, I need a break. Get the stamina charge back up there on LeBron as he'll make the first. The second one is up. It is good. We are about to head into lead change central here in the fourth quarter.
Just quick flip and flop. Get your slides on. They're going to be chucked across the room with how quick and electric this is going to be. A nice feet. Just dropping down, and again, consistently stretching this one much more vertical to the top of the key. They're not going to let them have any free floor space, no 3 to be derived, and so this is just going to be from the elbow, and they do get that one a little bit off balance.
He goes for the floater, and you saw he keeps trying to get the ball back to him. They keep trying to do that little shimmy turnaround jumper to get the ankle breaker to find an open look. As AD going to get walled up here, can't get the steal with Westbrook, but it does get back over here to D'Angelo Russell. Now with Austin Reeves, 7 seconds on the shot clock. It's with LeBron James. Kawhi Leonard jumps out of the play. LeBron puts it up. No good. Zubac will come out there with the rebound, and now a chance to add on to this lead. Kawhi, the spin move, the bucket. 3-point lead for Tyler.
They put up a tower wall of 3 men in front of LeBron James, and he's unable to get over it. And in the other direction, now a huge attack to get themselves with even just the tiniest build onto this lead is going to start to really bend. Harden not quite free. They're going to get forced, and that's another foul. This could go up to a 5-point lead after we go to the line.
There's a sub about to come in here for Bauxite. I don't know which player actually ended up going out. I saw him over there at the scorer's table. But look at the way things have flipped. James Harden, shot creating takeover. Zubac has been great down the stretch. Post takeover. Russell Westbrook. It's a takeover fest out here for the Clippers. And Eastern Senior High. D'Angelo Russell with the floater greens it.
Love that high board. Just able to kind of flick it over and force them to jump. It's been very tough and a tall task to get over this defense. Now as you are in distance, you may be forcing some of these threes up and over. They get the rebound, and then they dunk it straight in their face.
Now that post badge, I'm surprised that he missed the first one. You usually don't see that. Jackson Hayes was the player that didn't get subbed into the game. We saw him down the stretch, but that was almost when they just took out the entire starting five when they were down big in that game number one. Different here, though, going down the stretch in the fourth. There's a massive block out there. That'll be Zubac registering that one. It's still a 5-point game. 1:11 to go in the game. 11 seconds on the shot clock here. Bauxite down by 5. And there's a steal from Kawhi. Trying to put this one out of reach. Off the backboard and the slam.
That one may be the one that breaks the back. With a minute to go here, Dirk. 7 points in front of them. They're trying to force some of these shots. They do get one from distance. You have to find more of that. You got to get it quickly.
Clock management is key here. We'll probably see Tyler really slow things down. Get this shot clock back down to about 5 to 7 seconds before he starts his attack. And here it goes. Screen set by Zubac. Harden has it. They get it right back to him. There's a massive mismatch down low. Someone's got to drop down to help. Zubac takes the jump shot. Gets his own rebound.
Oh, and then AD comes through with the foul. That's so unfortunate. You hear, or you can see the crowd shake. Doesn't matter. It's not going to shake this as you got 5, make it 6, a couple threes away now. And that's a greater distance than maybe Bean has to be able to surmount this lead.
What a fight by Bean, but Tyler just proving to be a little bit too much. Didn't have the shooting stroke he had in game number 1, but it didn't matter. Had the defense, had the scores down low. And I mean, even though he didn't make a lot of threes, the ones that he did hit were some of the most impactful in the game. As they get it over to D'Angelo Russell, the shot's gonna go up. And that's gonna do it. Eastern Senior High School, you have yourself another champion. It is going to be Tyler from Washington, D.C. coming out on top, being crowned the PlayVS Cup 2024 NBA 2K24 National High School Champion. Back-to-back years for the young man.
2-time. Gonna get that repeat, and they get it for Eastern Senior High out of DC. Congratulations over to the squad. That program obviously knows how to get dubs and make winners out of them. We hit zeros across the scoreboard, and Tyler picks himself up a national championship dub here with the PlayVS Cup. Dirk, the Ramblers, I mean, they're not at all gamblers. They know a sure thing and a big investment out of Tyler.
Oh, 100%. Shout out to Bean, too, for making Game 2 very interesting. Had us all on the edge of our seats. I saw people out there in the Twitch chat saying, I'm stressing out now watching this game. Why wasn't it like game number 1? But Bauxite High School, a massive fight there. Ended up losing the lead in the 4th and final quarter, but just kind of goes to show, right, with the adjustments that are also made. You saw them come out there from Bauxite, then down the stretch, you really ended up seeing it from Eastern Senior High School. They do come out on top. They are the champions here in 2024, and what a performance. I mean, and also what a way to close out the current gen stage of PlayVS with the NBA 2K series. We'll be jumping over to next gen, and that's where things are getting a lot more different. But HailMonkeyMan, we got a lot of different replays coming this time. It's not going to be a one-sided affair entirely here in this one, as a lot of this was Bauxite over and over and over again, especially here in the first half.
Yeah, if you looked at the game number 1, you'd swear that this game was only made, around the middle of the court. And opposite of that, we got to see Bauxite really kind of come alive. Now, early on, they put on some pressure, but it was really Bean who was forcing things to be slowed down. They went 0 for 9 for those first 9 3-pointers, and then it was the 10th one that mattered the most, and they were just leading them by the nose. But Dirk, it's that fourth quarter where everything slowly started to change, and we had a breakout third quarter that did give Bauxite a chance to really establish a greater lead, but it was Tyler that just was never going to go away.
Oh, it was phenomenal. I mean, we saw a little bit of everything. Started to get to see the swag go down with some of the lobs going down the stretch. The 4-point play coming out from Rui Hachimura. I know that was early in the game, but I usually see something like that, and I'm like, you don't see 4-point plays a whole lot in the game of NBA 2K. But here you could start to see, we got to this final 2 minutes. There was a 1-point lead. The spin move there from Kawhi was able to push it to 3. But just going down here, I mean, it just so much offense that was being played going throughout the rest of the game. But, you know, the bounce back came there from Tyler, from being, I mean, hats off to him in this game number 2. I really thought that this was just going to be set up for that game 3. I did not think that there was going to be any realm where Tyler was going to be able to string together a comeback. But slowly but surely, when you come back and you're chipping away at the lead by just taking 2s, I mean, it's so difficult to do in the game. I know we had the discussion, like, when do you maybe start to have some desperation and start to have to try to hunt for the 3 ball a little bit more? We got our answer. Didn't have to do it.
No, not at all. And it was built off of big interceptions as they were able to get those takeaways into the beginning of that fourth quarter. And then from that 3 onward, turning into a 1-point trade-up game was massive. Tyler, they have the experience. They know what they were coming in to do, and they can be able to lift that trophy. Some extra hardware to add to the old cabinet there for Eastern Senior High School. Did a fantastic job, and it was great to be able to witness. They authoritative in game number 1 and showing a depth to be able to come back in game number 2. But shout-outs over to Bean. Lots of extra, I guess, adaptations. You saw some good coaching and some good gamemanship to be able to really keep this one close. And at the very end, that's going to be learning experiences to take into later series and into later competitions.
Well, my friend, as we wrap everything up, I want to get your final thoughts, because it was an absolute honor sharing the microphone with you here on the Virtual Hardwood.
You know what? It was super fun. I love being with you. Obviously, ton of ball knowledge, and we got to see these kids ball out, and that's all I could ever ask for, especially here with PlayVS. And you know what? If I could see it again, I hope I see it with you, because it's been a fun time here in the booth with you, man.
Yeah, we'll be back again next year. Everything will be going down. We got confirmation out there in the Twitch chat, too, that we will be on the next-gen version of the game out there in NBA 2K25. And, of course, to spoil at the start of the show, Ronnie 2K is also going to be in NBA 2K25. One of the easiest calls that you could ever make coming out there. But always nice to see the camera setup that was going down. But that is going to wrap everything up here at the PlayVS Cup 2024 NBA 2K24 National High School Championship. We saw Eastern Senior High School coming out there with a victory. It was Mr. James DC, aka Tyler, coming out on top, representing the Eastern region. Of course, from Bauxite High School, putting up a hell of a fight going down the stretch. But Tyler is your champion, gets $1,500 in his pocket, a nice trophy. 2 of them gonna be both the hands are gonna be full now when he ends up getting that next trophy. But that's gonna be all from us. On behalf of myself, HailMonkeyMan, our production team, we'll see you all at the next PlayVS Cup.